Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. We finally have our two finalists of the ICC Champions Trophy 2025. New Zealand have beaten South Africa in the second semi-final. They're now going to face India on Sunday in the big final that will be played at the Dubai Cricket Stadium. But at the Gaddafi Stadium, it was a runs galore. More than 600 runs score in the second semi-final, and at the end South Africa falling just 50 runs short. It was a remarkable effort by South Africa, but unfortunately they couldn't just muster up enough to, runs to get to the 360 plus target that was set by New Zealand. New Zealand once again on song when it mattered the most. Kane Williamson, Rachin Ravindra, Glenn Phillips down the order. It was just a remarkable effort from New Zealand, and they actually showed that prowess that we've been talking about, that why they're a complete one-day side. And I have to talk about Mitchell Santner. The way he's led this side, his first ever ICC tournament as a captain, and the way he's bowled. Every time South Africa were looking to be in the game, New Zealand needed a wicket to come back, and it was Mitchell Santner who did that twice. And I think getting those two wickets at very crucial intervals, my heart once again goes out to David Miller. Once again another heartbreak for him, but he was superb, scoring 100, but in vain as well. Had he come a bit earlier, had he had more of that time or more those deliveries to score, the result could have been different. But at one point people were enjoying. Lahore turned out in great numbers to support both New Zealand and South Africa. They were actually chanting Bavuma Bavuma in the stadium. So imagine the fan following that both teams had over there. But New Zealand, the better side, will now be moving to Dubai to play this all-important final against India. And if you talk about the game itself, the Pakistan Cricket Board had invited the heads of various cricket boards to attend this very special semi-final at the Gaddafi Stadium, and a lot of those heads of cricket boards visited, including the BCCI Vice President Rajiv Shukla, who also visited the Gaddafi Stadium in Lahore to witness this semi-final. So I think it was a great omen. Then of course we move on and we give you the updates of domestic cricket as well, where of course the final of the President's Trophy is underway, and at Stumps it was very interesting. Of course this is a night fixture, a night 4-day match that we're seeing. Pakistan Television taking on State Bank of Pakistan, and State Bank in their second inning had lost a wicket, but they've still got a long trail to go. Pakistan Television batted brilliantly. They scored more than 300 runs, courtesy of Shehzad, who scored a brilliant century, and what a young prospect he is. So we have to update you on that as well. Then we give you some very important news regarding hockey, in line with the Prime Minister's vision as well. The Honourable Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's vision to revive sports in Pakistan, especially hockey. A German junior hockey team has now arrived in Pakistan. This team was received by officials of the Pakistan Hockey Federation, and I think this marks a very, very important visit and a step forward in the right direction to improve hockey at grassroots levels in Pakistan and look towards the future for future talent as well. Time now to introduce the guests. First of all, in studios, we've been joined by cricket expert and analyst Sabir Hussain. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We've also been joined by fellow anchor and expert Syed Mohammad Awais. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed bhai. I'm not good, man. My friends lost yesterday, South Africa. Sadke ke bakre kaam nahi hai.
We sent K. Asif over there, but nothing changed for South Africa. New Zealand were the better side. But Sabir Hussain, how would you analyze this game? Because it was a fantastic game which had runs on the board, which had an even contest. But in the end, I think personally 360 was just too much.
Absolutely, Ahmed, it was basically run feast last night, but I mean a great match for the cricketing fans. I mean, heads off to both the teams. Basically, they put up the wonderful show, and more than 650 runs. I mean, in a single match in Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore. So it will be long memories for both the teams. I mean, not good memories for South Africa. I mean, again, a knockout situation, they basically lost. So I mean, they were a bit unfortunate. I mean, but again, heads off to New Zealand team. I mean, good toss to win by Mitch Santner. Yesterday we were talking about, I mean, some additional 40 to 50 runs, I would say. And again, credit goes to Glenn Phillips. I mean, but I mean the way Ravindra and Williamson basically built their partnership, that basically set the tone for New Zealand to go big and score more than 300 runs. I mean, 212 for 2 and 33 overs. I mean, so both centuries from great batsmen Kane Williamson, and look at Rachin Ravindra. He is basically improving day by day. He has basically played 32 ODIs, 15 test matches, 80 something T20s. But I mean, again, look at the transformation and the adaptability of the conditions by this young man, 25 years old, Rachin Ravindra. He has been phenomenal find for New Zealand. I mean, they had a backup of David Conway, but I mean, hats off to this young kid. he has been performing really well. And in the bowling department, I mean, South Africa, they were in the game, but I mean, losing wickets in crucial moments, some senior players should have, should have the awareness as far as best situation was concerned. They had their, in 26 overs, they were basically 161 for 2. But again, Wondertussen, thanks to again Mitchell Centre, the captain, he basically took 3 wickets. So I mean, again, all in all, a very remarkable performance by New Zealand. Well said by K. Asif on 19th of February that New Zealand-India will be the final. K. Asif, well done.
Well done. He got both of them right as well, and I think it's been very interesting throughout the course of this tournament. But if you missed out on the match, we've got the highlights for you. Let's take a look at this report.
New Zealand captain won the toss and elected to bat first. New Zealand posted a massive total of 362 runs for the loss of 6 wickets, with excellent centuries from Rachin Ravindra and Kane Williamson leading the way. Ravindra played a strong innings, hitting 13 boundaries including 12 fours and a 6, showing his aggressive batting style. His shots were crisp and he kept finding gaps to score runs consistently.
And he'll get the second run. Rachin Ravindra, what a player. His 5th ODI 100 and all in ICC tournaments.
Williamson also performed well, scoring 102 runs with 10 fours and 2 sixes. Both players' contributions were crucial in setting a strong foundation for the team.
Over. Very clever indeed, and that will do it for Kane Williamson. Back to back hundreds in his last 3 games against South Africa.
Darren Mitchell, who came to bat at number 4, added 49 runs, just 1 run away from his half-century before being dismissed by Ngidi.
Rabada back there, he takes it.
Glenn Phillips remained unbeaten on 49 runs. He struck 6 fours and a maximum. For South Africa, Lungi Ngidi bagged 3 wickets and Kagiso Rabada claimed 2 wickets. Chasing a daunting target, South Africa made 312 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in allotted 50 overs. Skipper Bavuma scored half-century with the help of 4 fours and a 6. Rassie Wondertussen made 69 runs, 4 fours and 2 maximums.
Rusty van der Dussen goes downtown.
Middle-order batter David Miller, who came into bat at number 6, remained unbeaten and scored a century with the help of 10 fours and 4 sixes.
Well, what a brilliant performance this by David Miller. It counts for not much at the end of the day, but
New Zealand's bowlers squeezed during the middle overs and did not allow the South African batters to score freely. As a result, South Africa kept losing wickets at regular intervals. In the end, total set by New Zealand proved too much for South Africa and they beat Proteas by 50 runs. Skipper Mitchell Santner took 3 wickets for New Zealand. Rachin Ravindra named player of the match for his outstanding performance. New Zealand will meet India in the ICC Champions Trophy final on March 9th in Dubai.
2025.
There you have it. Sabah Shafiq gives us all the details in this report about this fantastic semi-final. Syed Mohammad Awais, 50 runs difference, just too much, I think.
50 runs distant, 50 runs defeat is a lot because Ahmed, when you talk about the Lahore wicket, I remember I told you even in the high scoring game, Australia versus England, it was a high scoring game and it got chased too. Due factor did not much come into the play over here. 360 was a big score what South Africa had to chase on. Hats off to the way Phillips has been playing. Look at his fielding, look at his batting. That's what a all-rounder can do for you. He's one of the best all-rounders, what I would say, if you read in the cricketing world right now, with the fitness, the way he has been going on. Even you talk about the Mitchell, remember we were saying yesterday that he's a big match player. I know he hasn't been performing well, but when it comes to Mitchell, he will be there and he performed really well. It was a big, massive score what New Zealand opted on. But again, on a lighter note, I know we do say Sadke ke Bakre and chokers for South Africa, but literally South Africa, when it comes to big matches, big I would say big chases, they literally have not been up to that mark even in the big tournaments. You can see yesterday the platform which Bavuma laid for Australia, for South Africa was brilliant. 106, they were just 1 out. It was a brilliant chance for them to go on, but unfortunately Klasa, the way he was out, then Markram, that was not required at that time, because that was the innings what you had to build on. So unfortunately what happened, but New Zealand on the other side looks a good team now, because they have played one match in Dubai and it's a different wicket as compared to Lahore. It will be a more spinning track. The spinners are dominating, the batsmen look in good rhythm. Kane Williamson and will be really happy in the middle order. So let's see what happens, but it's going to be a tough match for me. Toss would definitely matter a lot.
Well, obviously, I think it's going to be, you know, a very tight contest over there. But Sabir, India has really dominated those conditions. They've played 4 spinners and they've been mighty successful. The last time these two teams faced each other, it was, you know, a brilliant encounter where we saw India winning the last match of the group stage. And then that's why they finished as table leaders. But now New Zealand captain Mitchell Santner also said last night that, you know, they know the conditions. They've already played one game there and they're better, you know, suited to give India a tough competition.
Look, I mean, it should be a good match for the fans. I mean, but New Zealand, they have to take some positives from the past. They have beaten India a number of times. If you talk about 2000 Champions Trophy final, they beat India, you know, convincingly, and then basically they became the champions of, you know, the Champions Trophy in 2000. Then they again beat them in 2019 World Cup in England semi-final. So they have basically beaten them number of times, Indian team. So I mean, as far as the Indian team is concerned, their confidence are so sky high, I would say. Every individual is performing. Look at Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and Shubman Gill. He performed in the group stage matches as well. As far as their bowling is concerned, they basically don't need Jasprit Bumrah. The way Mohammad Shami has been bowling, he has been phenomenal. Look at him, and he was injured a couple of months ago. Then basically he himself realized the rehabilitation process is very, very important. Not like us, I mean, Pakistani cricketers, Shaheen Shah, Afridi, Naseem Shah, they basically rush back very quickly. But heads off to Mohammad Shami, and also the management basically. They carried him in a proper way. So he basically realized the importance of his experience. He performed in the past. We have seen in the 2015 World Cup in Australia, Mohammad Shami performed exceptional, spells of bowling. Then in 2019 World Cup as well. So as far as spinners are concerned, okay, Awais rightly said, toss will be very crucial. But for the New Zealand side, they have 4 basically spinners. I mean, so they have to basically pick up the wickets at top of the order, because if Rohit Sharma goes or Shubman Gill, they basically in the first 15 overs will be very crucial for New Zealand team, because if New Zealand will bat second, they will definitely struggle. Pressure will be there. Pressure will be there after the final as well. So Dubai will be considered kind of a home, kind of a support for the most of the Indian team cricketers as well. So it will be a tough match, but I am expecting New Zealand to fight back really hard.
One thing, but a little bit, if you just talk about the Dubai wicket, what I have seen over there, because played all my life, like I've told even back, in evening there's a little bit breeze which actually helps the fast bowlers initially, I would say. But always toss has been a real matter over there, especially when you play domestic over the Bukhatir League or when you play in Ramzan cricket. Toss used to be a lot important, because when you bat in the initial, ball literally comes good onto your bat. Even the spinners little bit, I can say, are easy to play on with the soft hands. But when it comes to second innings, the cracks are more. It's tough for the batsman actually to play there, to just play hard shots, because when you talk about 40 overs of spin, India will bang on their 4 spinners, and they have been doing literally brilliantly. Especially Chakravarti, he has been one of the super performer of the big matches, I would say, because he just came up in the Champions Trophy. So the contest between your middle order, especially of New Zealand, Kane Williamson, when you talk about Daryl Mitchell, because they have played lot against Chakravarti in the IPL, so they know how his performances would be.
But I think two key players, one of them, Awais has mentioned, Kane Williamson and Rachin Ravindra. They've got some interesting stats that we'd like you to see. So if we can just have those graphics up on screen. Rachin Ravindra has scored 804 runs in ICC ODI tournaments, an average of 67, a strike rate of 105.65. This includes 5 centuries and 2 half centuries with the highest score as well. And if you look at Kane Williamson on the other side, he's also been very, very fantastic. So, World Cup 2019, 106 not out, the Tri-Series 133 not out, and then of course the Champions Trophy 102 last time that we talk about that as well, and that was of course against South Africa. The fact still remains that these two players, last time India, Awais, faced them in the group stages, Kane Williamson played really well, but then threw his wicket away to Akshar Patel on a needless shot. He came down the track. Rachin Ravindra couldn't score. So it's very important for New Zealand that they get runs from these two players.
I mean, we look at the commitment of Kane Williamson. Even yesterday, remember, South Africa had lost that match, and the ball which was going towards the boundary, the slide what he had done, so to save that 2 runs, that showed what commitment is. And at that, I would say, age level, that's the fitness what he shows. And he's a character. If you remember, Kane Williamson was injured in the last World Cup, but New Zealand team still stuck with him because he's one of the best minds. That's why I told you, I mean, the wickets of especially opening department, Ravindra, Mitchell and Kane Williamson will be very important, because I know it was an initial match because you had played a lot of matches in Pakistan. It was a totally different track where India dominated you, the spinners dominated, but it's a final stage. And what plus point especially Kane Williamson has is that because he has been playing a lot of IPL, he knows that spinners, how they perform in that kind of conditions. But again, I'm telling you, toss will matter a lot, because your opening department and especially your middle order will be a place how they cross around 280, 300 mark. Because when you're playing against India in the last match, what even I was discussing with you was that literally even if it was 300, India could have chased on, because the three main batsmen are performing very well. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and down the order you go, there's a in the middle order, batsmen are performing well for them. So it will be very important how New Zealand scores 300 plus and breaks the opening partnership of India. That will be important, because if you want to win against India, you will literally have to score more than 300 runs.
Yes, Sabir.
Yes, sir. Look, I mean, the Dubai pitch is not unplayable. I mean, we have seen lots of batsmen. If you stay on the wicket, if you understand the situation as well.
If you're Virat Kohli.
Like Virat Kohli, Shubman Gill did. I mean, the Bangladeshi batsmen, I think Zakir Ali, you know, their lower middle order, they performed in the initial match of their group stage. So I mean, everybody basically performed. Whosoever basically stays on the wicket, you have to understand the situation. This is not unplayable kind of a wicket like, I mean, we have seen in the past. Like, you know, 200 is difficult to chase. You used to be difficult to chase, but this particular time, so the senior batsmen, like from New Zealand point of view, Kane Williamson, Daryl Mitchell, basically best of Daryl Mitchell yet to come. Basically, he's been struggling a lot. But I mean, thanks to Kane Williamson, Rachin Ravindra as well, Conway in the groups. Thanks to PCB, by the way, we basically arranged a triangular series, and they had a kind of a
better acquaintance to the conditions.
Exactly. So they should be thankful to Pakistan Cricket Board that we arranged a tri series, so they basically get to know the conditions as well.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I would like to see New Zealand should bat first, put some runs on the board, and you have a chance. Like Shubman Gill struggle, you never know about Rohit Sharma. Then in the middle order, Virat Kohli cannot win you matches again and again. So it will be interesting for New Zealand.
But psychologically, Sabir, if Virat Kohli's wicket falls early, that's going to be a huge blow to India. I think just, although India doesn't rely completely on him, but still I think he's that one important pillar of India's batting lineup. If that falls, I think they're very, very vulnerable.
They are basically, look, I mean, Virat Kohli basically performed so many number of times in the past, in last 1.5 decades. I mean, in every crucial situations, when India basically lost couple of wickets at the top order, he's the one basically who stood, and he was the one who basically raised the hand, and that he will going to finish the match. I mean, so in the past, in the semi-final stage, final stage, whether he's playing T20 World Cup or Champions Trophy or the ODI World Cups as well, so he has been performing in the current situation. Obviously, the pressure will be there. He is a human being, so I mean, you cannot expect any time from Virat Kohli. So there are some batsmen like we have seen. So from Indian point of view, KL Rahul performed in the lower middle order. Hardik Pandya we have seen, and the difficult situation, it will be Rohit Sharma's factor. I mean, he basically needs to go big, but who knows about his intention? I mean, he basically comes and plays his natural shot, so he doesn't care about the wickets. I mean, 2 times basically India were in pressure. Against Pakistan, they were 31 for 1 in the 5 overs. Against Bangladesh, against New Zealand as well, they were basically struggled. 3 wickets down in less than 30 runs. So basically, New Zealand fast bowlers, they have the ability to pick up the wickets in the power play. We have seen in the 2019 semi-final in England and Wales, in the semi-final, their top order struggle against Matt Henry, against Lukey Ferguson, but Will Rocky will be the key. Last night he was, sluggish, 69 runs in 8 overs, but on Sunday, Will Rocky will be
last night the wicket was completely different. I agree with you. I think in Dubai, because the pitch is a bit slower and it's a bit dry, and you get that odd bounce, Will O'Rourke is going to be absolutely exceptional. He's the kind of bowler New Zealand bank on to take on early wickets. But then again, I think it's very important to Avais that Virat Kohli has just been phenomenal. It's not just about him only playing for India, but I think in the world of cricket, I haven't seen a batter like him. And it's just he's the best right now, there's no doubt. But once you've got a player like this and the opposition gets him early, will that create a psychological advantage for New Zealand?
That would obviously create, because first I would come to the wicket, one thing in the mind of India would be that the wicket which was played against Pakistan, I would say a little bit help was there for initially for the seamers, I would say. They would try the level best to make that wicket as slow as possible, because they're going to be banging on the spinners, because the fast bowling lineup, Bumrah isn't there, Shami is not in his colours, so they would be banging more on the spinners. So they would try the level best to get that wicket as dried up as it is possible to get the spin out of that wicket. Virat Kohli's wicket, whenever you talk about major tournaments, like even I was sharing the stats with you that India has in recent, from 2015 till now, India has played around 30 to 33 matches, it's a winning percentage, 33 matches won on the trot. I mean, it's not an easy job in the big tournaments, and Virat Kohli has been the main character. I remember in the test series what India lost before that, if you just go 1 year back, everyone started criticizing that Virat Kohli might not be the same Virat Kohli what he was. Even the Indian Cricket Board, even there was news coming up in the team, there are some grudges going on. The Indian media wanted him to be removed of the team, but hats off to the Indian BCCI, even hats off to Rohit Sharma, I would say. He stuck around with them, and that's what the two characters show in big tournaments. And Virat Kohli, the way he has been performing well, but again, everyone talks about this too, but the main candidate is Shreyas Iyer. I mean, because if you remember Iyer, before this tournament, he lost his central contract. He wasn't the part of the Indian team. There were things going against him, but hats off to that guy, man. He just took around with his cricket business, mentally too strong. I mean, the way he plays, especially when you talk about India in that kind of conditions, what I liked was that the run rate of India in an over, if you talk about, it has never been 3 or 2.5 or 3.5. It has been around 5, 5.5, sometimes till 6. That's really a challenging position when you play in Dubai Sports City. So that's what plus point they carry, because everyone knows their role, how to finish it. I mean, even if Virat Kohli does not perform, everyone knows the role, what it is, but catches will be important. What we lost was, we lost many catches. Pakistan, if you remember, the performance was bad. Even we dropped many catches. Catches win you matches. New Zealand fielding has been superb, but again, I'm telling you, the Pacers, initially, they can create some pressure, but your fielders need to be active.
Last night, South Africa were very sloppy in the fielding. There's no doubt about that. Had they fielded better, they would have probably saved 50, 60 runs, and they would have probably been in contention. But that will be one part of the picture that really matters the most as well. But then, like I said, a lot of that reliance. But if you look at Sabir, New Zealand's style of play, they like to play aggressive cricket, and they are a side which will not only utilize the last 10 overs, but will, with each passing over, they'll keep on improving their run rate. Now, it's very important for them because Will Young is not fired in the last 2 games right now. The onus has been on Rachin Ravindra and Kane Williamson in that middle order, and then they set a platform for the likes of Daryl Mitchell, Glenn Phillips to come and score big runs in the last 10-15 overs. Does that strategy work? Because India right now have not been, only Travis Head in the semi-final almost, took a charge, but unfortunately got out. If such a charge happens, does that put India under pressure because they don't have a plan B?
You rightly mentioned this particular point. I mean, look, Will Young, he has been struggling. He performed really well in the Tri-Series in the opening match, but I mean, better to include David Conway because he knows the Indian bowling lineup. He has been playing for Chennai Super Kings. So I mean, he has played against Ravindra, Jadeja, Kuldeep as well. So he's a good left-hander, technically very sound, and he basically performed in the past as well. Recently, he's in a good form, but I mean, Rachin Ravindra, he has to come back again. But at the top of the order, yes, you have to play aggressive cricket, and you need to have some awareness as well. For Australian point of view, look, I mean, Australia, they were basically cruising. Okay, but Travis Head should have the awareness, and they dropped a couple of catches. I mean, Marnus Lumbashe, he dropped the catch of Rohit Sharma, but I mean, Glenn Maxwell, he also, he's a wonderful, phenomenal fielder. We have seen in the past so many great catches, wonderful run-outs, like we used to see some Australian team from Ricky Ponting, some great Michael Clarke as well. But I mean, fielding will be very important. We have seen New Zealand, everybody's talking about Glenn Phillips, but look at Kane Williamson at the age of 34, 35. He basically took a wonderful catch of, Jadeja at the point. So, I mean, fielding standards are very high as far as the New Zealand are concerned. In the crucial match, yes, you rightly pointed out again, the South African fielding was sloppy last night, but in the final, you can't basically miss the chances of Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma. These are the big guns. I mean, especially in the major events of finals as well. So New Zealand will be, very cautious as far as the top order of India is concerned. But they need to fire in the initial power play if they are batting first or batting second. Because if the ball gets older, it will be difficult for New Zealand batsmen. We have seen the Glenn Phillips. I mean, he struggled a lot in the group stage match, against India. But against the fast bowlers, he was, a kind of a killer miller. But I mean, Pakistani against Pakistan, against South Africa, we have seen. But against India, he will be, the key for New Zealand in the lower middle order.
Absolutely. I think it will really matter the way New Zealand mentally approach this game. So you know what happened with Australia is that they never looked like the mighty Australians when they came out to bowl. So I think that's something, and they were letting singles off easy. They opened the fielding. That's something you don't see with New Zealand, because I think, Wes, we can rightly say they're right now the best fielding unit in the world.
Like I told you, I mean, because see, it's very important, especially when with the new ball, Ahmed bhai, how your circle area is that strong. I mean, especially your point and the extra cover region, how strong they are. I mean, because that gives confidence to the bowlers when you get good catches, when you field better, the confidence obviously boosts for the bowlers. That was the issue with the Australians. They never looked into the game. Many of them say many things, but literally Australia, psychologically, they're one of the best teams in the world. But this team, I would say, never looked into the game. India were totally on to the Australians. But New Zealand, on the other hand, I mean, with the field, they have been superb. If I talk about the catch ratio and the fielding ratio, I was just going through that. New Zealand has been around 86% in this tournament. That's a huge landmark for them. Like I told you, even you watch out Kane Williamson yesterday, even South Africa did lose, but the way he was chasing for the 2 runs, I mean, to save that, that shows what commitment is. Then they have got the strong point area, the way the players have been fielding on. But again, it's a match, it's a final match, and obviously everyone would be wanting New Zealand to win that. But India has been a dangerous side. Let's be frank. I mean, they have been superbly. I know they got advantage playing in that conditions. They have played all the matches over there. They know wickets very well. But New Zealand, on the other hand, is a team which can actually rattle them out, because it will be very important if you just watch out the India whole side. I mean, I know the spinners have been dominating, but it's the batsmen who have been actually getting the runs on board. It's very important to get Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma and Shreyas Iyer. I mean, to get early breakthroughs. If New Zealand is capable of that, literally India can be dented easily.
Well, I think all in all, it's going to be very interesting, and that's why we're saying that the toss matters the most. But Rohit Sharma's got a terrific record of losing the last 12 to 13 toss that he's been involved in. And losing that toss has actually worked for him, because he said, you know, it's hard to pick what to do on this kind of pitch. So I think sometimes in a big match, you know, it can go either way. But Sabir, for New Zealand, if you look at their combination, their strength so far in the tournament, what's the key if they win the toss? What would you like to see New Zealand doing?
Look, I mean, finals are again a pressure game for every team, whether you are playing against Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. These are bigger teams. I mean, but from Indian point of view, look, I mean, mentally they are strong. I was, you know, listening a couple of great cricketers. I mean, on social media, they were saying that BCCI is so much financially strong. So these basically things reflect on players. I mean, their body language, their confidence are basically sky high. So these are the things basically sometime, you know, pays you in a positive way. But from New Zealand point of view, everybody basically would like to see, you know, New Zealand to win, because of Ken Williamson. He has been so unlucky, you know, in 2013, 2015 as well, 17, 19. You just name number of, you know, T20 World Cups or ODI World Cups or even the Champions trophies as well. So he has been a phenomenal ambassador for New Zealand. So, but I mean, who knows? I mean, if India wins the Champions Trophy, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli might retire. So, I mean, who knows about this? I mean, so but good luck for the both teams. So again, thanks to, I would like to say thanks to PCB, the way basically we handled the situations, we arranged this, you know, situation as well. Everybody, you know, appreciated our efforts. I mean, Pakistani hospitality as well, our culture, you know, our norms as well, our values. So basically, this is a good thing for Pakistan. Never mind, we basically didn't qualify for the semi-finals, but we arranged the situation in Rawalpindi, Karachi, you know, thanks to the crowd as well, thanks to all the laborers, workers basically who arranged, you know, these kind of renovated stadiums as well, thanks to Pakistan government as well, you know, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who basically inaugurated the Lahore cricket stadium. So, I mean, I would like to thank, you know, everyone. I mean.
Absolutely. I think Sabir mentions a very important point, Saeed Mohammad Awais, that at the end of the day, Pakistan has been very successful in hosting the Champions Trophy, and this opens doors for many more ICC tournaments to come our way.
Yeah, the first of all, hats off and congratulations to the laborers specifically, I would say, who worked their day and night to just get the stadiums done. I mean, like, remember on the other platforms where we used to discuss, and even Abdul Moeed Shah said once that when spoken to the ICC officials, and they said literally it was hats off, in less time Pakistan got everything done. It's not an easy job. I mean, you can see the way Pakistan has done this, and even I was listening to the commentators, and many of the commentators said we are here in Pakistan after a pretty long time. I mean, the atmosphere looks amazing. Stadiums have been brilliant. I mean, unfortunately, the Pindi games did wash out, but Lahore has been brilliant, literally. Even Karachi was good at this time, I would say. It has been superb, slow and steady. You will see more innovation in the Gaddafi Stadium, but at last, Pakistan did get a major tournament, and Pakistan was very successful, and hats off to the management of Pakistan Cricket Board to getting everyone, especially Rajiv Shukla was yesterday, and I was even discussing with you affair. The Indian media are literally questioning Rajiv Shukla that you can go, why can't the Indian team go and visit over there? If you're okay with it, many of your officials are there, they are okay with it, they're enjoying. Even Vikrant Gupta was here, everyone I was just reading out, everyone said that you were happy.
He
you
really enjoyed
over
it.
here. He really enjoyed. And literally, you know, there was the word he said, I didn't even pay a single penny. I was over here from past 3-4 days. No one was taking a single penny from me wherever I went.
And he
That's
actually
what really
apologized. He said he had a very wrong perception about Pakistan.
It is, I mean, and that's what Pakistanis are. I mean, they love the cricket fraternity over here. So I told you, I mean, everyone was asking Rajiv Shukla, if you can go, why can't the Indian team go? I hope everything stance changes on.
Yes, Sabir.
Rajiv Shukla basically said there are so many aspects. I mean, which aspects? I mean, traveling, food, easy pesa, jet gas. Which kind of aspects you're talking about? I mean, you are in Pakistan, your embassy is in Pakistan, your international Indian staff is in Pakistan. So I mean, what can I say?
Yeah,
I mean,
yes, I think
so
it's very,
congratulations to Pakistan, I would say.
Yeah, it's
That's it.
disappointing. But Sabir and Awais, thank you very much for joining us. The fact still remains that Pakistan has been very, very successful in hosting the Champions Trophy. The Sunday final will of course complete this entire tournament, but the fact remains that the Pakistan Cricket Board, the chairman, Pakistan Cricket Board Mohsin Naqvi, the entire team, the law enforcement agencies, the ground staff especially in Pindi, Karachi and Lahore, to all that have been involved, including the workers who made sure that the stadiums were built in time, and especially to the fans who turned out in great numbers. Congratulations to all of you. You deserve it. You've made Pakistan proud, and certainly our hospitality has been adored by all the players, and at the end of the day, we've been very successful in hosting the Champions Trophy. That wraps it up from me and the entire team. It's goodbye for now.